understand us. This is going to the why. This is it. And what we want you to understand, I promised my girlfriend I wouldn't use that word desensitize. I just said I wasn't gonna use it. But I told her, don't worry about it. That means we numb, we ain't feeling it, and we're not responding. And so we just can't be drugged over into a world that's not willing to accept reality. This is reality we in. If if I cut myself right now, I'm gonna bleed. Now, if I don't know what the other world can do, if they cut themselves, I don't know what's gonna ooze out, but I know what's gonna ooze out on me. Now, for as uh, us for as communication, when we are constantly exposed to dangerous or negative behaviors, uh, we become more tolerant of those behaviors. And that's what we're seeing now. That's what has happened throughout the campaign, the election, all this negative behavior that we see. We just think that's common. We think that this is the way it's supposed to be. Not in our neighborhood. It is not common. So what do you call this behavior, Woody, that you see on a regular day, constantly, over and over and over again?
What I call it is intentional behavior. Unless you're in documentation, I call it intentional behavior.
And it's not good intentional behavior. It's the difference when you're doing something intentionally and you're going to be successful at it. But this is not intentional being successful.
This is intentional hurting people.
So you called it earlier. What type you say people when we went to the...
When I went to the Cheesecake Factory, okay, this guy was treating this employee with disrespect. Like you put my cheesecake that way, and I don't want the whip. And she was saying, I'm doing the best I could.
Okay.
I'm doing the best I can. And this was a Hispanic woman.
Okay. And he was just
disrespectful, just totally disrespectful. I almost came too close to not even ordering the cheesecake or the carrot cake that I wanted because of this negative guy. And I almost came close to standing up to her, and I was about to say something.
Well, what did I say? That's not our fight, okay? Because we didn't want it to escalate. We didn't want it to. It could have got her fired. It could got out of hand, and that's what happens. When somebody say, "Okay, we're gonna bring it," our behavior increase. We get hostile. We get aggressive. And the conflict arise, and then it goes out of control. And then we have that Debo effect, because Debo's over there, bullying people, and he got what?
And he got knocked the F out.
Yep, he got knocked the F out. Okay, so in the election, what did we see? We kept hearing repetition. Kenny, what did we see in the election? What happened?
People just got numb to it. That this is the thing. It's normal, but it's not normal. It's routine.
And so
it's not a routine. This is all intentional. Intentional trying to get in.
So what happens is people lost trust. They just lost trust. And a lot of people said, you know what, really, it ain't really nobody to vote. We're not going to go out here. We're not going to vote. We're losing trust. So it damaged the relationships in the community. When you don't challenge behaviors and you see these behaviors are negative behaviors and that behavior goes on and you think it's okay, once you don't reinforce that behavior, the neighborhood goes down. The people, it goes down. And then what happens to our mental health?
You enable the bad behavior.
It destroys mental health.
It destroys your mental health, and you get what? You get depressed.
You get depression. It leads to depression, anxiety, and depression.
And so, as this behavior has continued, as we've seen it throughout this whole election cycle, there has been reduced accountability. That means that, we're looking at people and they're not being held accountable like we think we should. Like we think we should see them being held accountable. And so what we say is they do what they want to do, say what they want to say. And who did that just recently? Who just did that recently?
That would be Pete Hefner.
Okay, in the confirmation hearings, what are we seeing? This is.
He was abrasive when it came to questions.
And smug. He never answered the question.
Or he evaded that. And then when people decided to challenge him, he decided to get out. It's denied.
Right.
I was cleared.
It was
falsely accused.
You look like it was denied, falsely accused. So You know, you had that same type of behavior in the Senate.
And the House of Representatives with Jasmine Crockett and Representative Nancy Mace.
Okay, you had this. You had it. What happened? She took what?
She held Nancy Mace accountable when they were going after transgenders, which was less than 1% of the population.
Okay, and so the cycle that you see a pattern here. You see a pattern of abuse. That cycle starts over and over, and what happens is it goes from generation to generation. A cycle that it's going to be passed on because it has went on for so long that all the things that was common, all the things that was ordinary or plain, well, now what happens? All these things that you think that is normal and you looked at this cycle and in our environment, you know, it enables us to do what?
We lost more compass. More compass is defined between right and wrong.
And so now right and wrong, look, everything that was wrong is now, it's not right, but it's wrong and it's being acceptable. It's being accepted. And that's not right. You know, everything that we were taught, everything that we learned is going where?
It's going down the tubes.
Because people feel like, well, someone said this, so if they can say it, I can say it too.
Right. And so if the behavior look like it's similar, you know, or it's something that somebody else is doing, like, um, well, can he rob the bank? I can go rob the bank. You know, I shouldn't get time. I shouldn't be, you know, a felon. I should get off. I can go to work drunk.
But the problem with that behavior is, one person may get away with it, but can the next person get away with it?
But you know what? Every time that people get on the news, and this has troubled me, and they always say, this is the richest man in the world. The richest man in the world. But they never address, well, he the one said he was on ketamine. I don't know, you know. But I'm basically saying, if the richest man in the world has all this money and this behavior, how is this richest man in the world trying to control other people's lives when he ain't got his life under control? You know, so I can be the richest man in the world. I can come on national TV. I can be a drug addict, you know.
But how you can be the richest man in the world and you can't get in your own company or to pass a clearance test?
That behavior a long time ago used to have a 12-step program.
Right.
And you went to Alcohol Anonymous.
Yep.
Now you don't have to do that no more. You can just come on the job drunk. Because if anybody go on their job drunk now, I would be looking at them. Oh, you gonna say HR or what? HR or who? Or are you crazy?
I remember if you're going on a job, we used to have tests, and if you test positive, depending where you are on your discipline, they can send you home or you're done that day.
Well, basically, if you at work, okay, and somebody says to you, well, I was late, and I'm just gonna let you all know that I may possibly be late tomorrow, and then you might just ask the question, well, you do have a track record of being late, you know, and this may get you in trouble. You know, we're looking at your record. We don't know if you're very reliable. Do you actually think somebody can tell you, well, I'm late because I've been drinking? I'm late because I've been on drugs, you know. So, there you go. So basically, what we're saying is the behaviors that were once unintentional are now intentional. The behaviors that that we have now are being looked at as and I don't like to say normal, as ordinary, you know. And so I what I tell people all the time is that, well, um, my bottom line is this: what is normal for you is not normal for me. Okay. When people want specifics, you know, they may have their specifics. I might have mine.
So basically, you have different standards. Like
Right.
you may have high standards, where another person has what they call middle standards.
Right.
Mediocre or
And
low
then
standards.
you got people who are the low standards. And during that confirmation hearing, how you go from a high standard of integrity and excellence to a low standard of showing up to work drunk and abrasive and abusive.
So, we have said this is an unrealistic world that we're living in now. The world that has come up, the world that we're in now, is not giving the facts. We have to have the facts, and it can't go on with people saying, "Well, we going to the Senate confirmation hearing. We asking these questions, okay, and like on who was it? Pete was it Pete Hegseth?
And here's the thing about headset. A confirmation hearing is just basically what it is, a job interview. And with that confirmation hearing, there had to be transparency. You have to ask all the questions. You cannot duck and dodge like he did, or when someone challenges you or holds you to a fire accountability, you just can't. You just can't get hostile.
Well, um, the thing that makes us what makes us hostile is when the media put out information, and that information doesn't lead up to the truth. We're getting information now, or they call it disinformation.
Lies.
We're getting a lot of, we need the facts. That's it. And like I said, we can't live in a world that when somebody comes across and say, well, um, the fact for you is that, you know, there's a report out, okay? That's a documented fact. There's a report out. And that facts bring all, lets you know everything that happened. And then somebody turns around and say, that didn't happen. That never happened. This is what happened. And then later on you find out it was all a bunch of lies. And that's just kind of what Meta, uh, Zuckerberg is doing. He's taking all the what? The
He's
fact the
The
fact
fact
checks
checking
away.
down.
The fact checking down. Now, I don't understand why people don't want to be fact checked. If they don't want to be fact checked, why? Why don't they want to be fact checked?
Because
they want a freedom to lie. That's what it is.
that and they be up in their feelings.
Okay. So uh, I see JBR has Beef Pacific, good sir. Well, I don't know if they missed the title because it's been up there for a long time. And the title was what, Bondale?
The title is Unrealistic World.
It's an unrealistic world. That's what the title was. And I was just basically saying that we have to deal with the facts. We have to deal with the truth. And so much of there's the lines, it haven't been blurred. It's just been like the gap is almost closed,
The gap is closed.
between the behaviors. And
Between the intentional and unintentional behavior has been closed.
and it's hard to communicate with people when you're hearing a bunch of lies all the time.
Okay.
And then when you try to address those lies, when people get up in arms and they don't want to hear it because they're so used to hearing what?
Lies, but going back to what you're asking about why fact checking getting taken down, people don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be like the Cartman Center off of South Park.
Respect my authority.
Are you testing my authority?
And then we get when a person that finally gets broken down and they want to say, you know, I want to stand up for myself, or I'm telling the truth, and then they get knocked out the box, and then they can't hardly fight for themselves because they feel like it's a stigma. It's like, well, that person over there, they're telling me that I lied. Um, well, you did lie. And I'm still saying they still saying that word disinformation,
I
misinformation.
just
Lie
want
is
to
a
say
lie.
it out loud.
It's a lie. Lie is a lie. It's no disinformation about it. Lie is a lie.
And then we have a cultural decline, because everything that's happening in our environment, everything that's happening in our neighborhood, it's no longer being challenged. It's not, and when you don't challenge the negative behaviors, you're part of that. You're
You're enabling that behavior.
yeah.
Evil prevails when the good says nothing. And this is what happened. People are not challenging what's wrong. And they're enabling wrong to be the standard.
It's not none of this have been the standard because when we started out, you might have a person over here, like I said, they might say that you're normal, and like I said, I don't like that word. This is common, this is standard, this is your everyday, and the person over here is supposed to be above you, a higher, and that's why I mentioned about Elon Musk, because I can't understand a person that's supposed to have all that intelligence is, trying to run our country or in other people's country, and then you can't get a hold of your life. You're supposed to stop, get a hold of your life, and then come over there if there's some advice, but not just a regular citizen intervening in, like, the United States affairs. You know, and I don't really see that behavior right there.
It's dangerous because he have no
That's a
experience.
security, right? That's a security risk to our nation. I mean, you're just not supposed to walk off the street and start advising people.
And especially giving information to the adversaries
Well, you're not.
at
Well,
all.
look what's happening in like the confirmation hearing. Everybody's sitting there and they looking. These people are asking questions. Some people are asking serious questions. Some people are asking unserious questions. And then it just looked like two worlds. One world is like, I'm over here with the facts, factual information and documentation. And these are the things that's on paper that we're looking at. We're asking you these questions. We're looking at these. These are the facts. And then the other people over on the other side saying that never happened.
But the weird thing about that confirmation hearing, how can a person lie when the information, the documents is right there,
Well, I guess,
the NDLs right there, the people who gave statements right there. How you say I'm falsely accused when you got X, Y, and Z saying you did this?
Devon, what you think?
What I think about this is that once that intentional behavior and unintentional behavior gap is closed, it is irreversible. It is hard to reverse it. I think it's going to be irreversible.
So the lies bring on mistrust. After we mistrust, and we lost a lot of time.
It brings lost time, and lies bring you death.
Well, absolutely.
Really?
You know, and we're looking at like the legacy media disappearing. We're looking at as TikTok, or is that going away?
They're about to ban TikTok. The Supreme Court is likely to uphold the law that is banning TikTok.
Okay, and so basically, it's gonna just be left to independent media, because we got a lot of independent media over on the other side that's giving the facts. You know,
And they're not afraid to give the facts.
no, because um, we were I was looking at, was it CNN the other day, and they were talking about the fires in California, and that seemed like that was kind of one side is, they don't seem like they accept climate change. They were coming. It kind of drowns the narrative out. The narrative is like, okay, we got high winds and we got all these things happening. And somebody went to about the water, and I was like, don't these people know that the climate, all of this is
Due to climate
due to
change?
climate change?
But the problem
But
is
then you
that
got climate change deniers, and so you got all these people giving out this information, and so what happens?
it's kind of hard to separate what's real and what's not real.
And so now we're living in a dimension that's what? That's not what? That's not real.
We're living in a lie world, like Kellyanne Conway called it, alternative facts. That's what Kellyanne Conway said.
And nobody wants to uh, nobody wants to really hear the facts. The fact is, I can't, okay, basically I can't say for as your life what's livable for you. But if something happens to you and you say, well, I tried, X, Y, and Z, and it works for me, then that's what works for you. Okay.
That may not work for that other
But
person.
it may not, and just like facts. Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
But you're not entitled to
But
your facts.
facts.
And that's where I feel kind of like this whole cycle went wrong, because we don't have enough people out there addressing the facts. As I look at the other media, and I like MSNBC. That's just a station that I like. I mean, some of the things that happened I didn't like, but that's a channel that I watched and I like. And there have been people like Maddow and O'Donnell
They
and
didn't back
Ari,
down.
you know, they didn't back down.
They didn't kiss the
Joy
ring.
Reid,
It was their
Michael Steele.
it was their duty to warn. And I feel like it's our duty to warn. It's our duty to warn because I think my struggle is when I look on YouTube and I always talk about the community and how they don't share people's videos and stuff. And there's a lot of videos out there that could help people. It's like you give me a video, something that's on climate change, that's gonna help me learn.
Or
Because I
finance.
like learning. You have the Intentional Millionaire.
Right.
I like his channel. I like, learning from him. But we don't we get in that community and we get in a damn huddle, and that's it. We don't stretch out there. I think my biggest disappointment this time was, if you know that possibly everything that's coming under the new administration can be very harmful to a lot of
Or
people,
devastating.
devastating, then I really thought that a lot of channels would not change their whole entire channel, because like I said, ours is still on mental health and health, and even I may change the title on my channel, but in the meantime, it all of this affects our health. It all affects our health.
Not just our physical and spiritual health.
The key here was validation. A lot of times people constantly want to be validated. I want to see the channels grow. I want to see people take off and deliver.
But deliver with integrity and honor, like Denzel Washington and Byron Allen integrity.
You know.
Well, I have obligation because if you know someone's going to hit the fan, then you have the obligation to let people know, hey, is this going to be ugly? But it's coming down like this. But don't be bullied into hiding the facts. If you there's consequences to everything, good or bad. Holding back stuff is the consequence because this is where we're at because of the consequences. Because people were so worried about their ratings, their jobs, their show, they had to go somewhere and kiss the golden ring to maintain their image, vanity, image, and pride.
So, and that's just like the lady in the Senate, Ernst. She's worried about her job. Instead of saying that, this could be a threat to our nation, this person cannot do the job. He might, and they talk about communication skills. The message have been horrible. Communication skills, a lot of people might can, you know, get on here and say what they need to say smoothly, but that don't mean that they can actually do the job.
Right. And here's the thing: what is a job when you don't have a nation
And what is a job when you don't have a soul or principles?
or
Well,
compass?
well,
You're just a shell.
that's that part in the community where people are doing and saying whatever, and they think it has become common or it has become ordinary. Like I said, I don't personally like the word normal. It's a regular day in the neighborhood, and then what happens? I don't like the word desensitized. Because a lot of my friends say, well, I don't, sometimes I get to looking at the news and they got all these big words and I don't understand what those words are. And I just say, just remember that you're not feeling it, you're not responding to it. It's like a cold blue. You're numb. You're numb. Who in the world, like in COVID, who in the world
No,
had all these deaths and we just moved around like it never existed? That wasn't ordinary. That wasn't common.
because it's
It was once every 100 years pandemic.
well, even that people were dying left and right, and no one had time to grieve. It wasn't a standard to watch your loved ones sign off on an iPad each time, and that's nothing good about that.
What blowed me up is the media on one side. The media on one side kept asking these questions about behaviors. And I thought, okay, they hollered about Project 2025. All right. But if you wanted to really know about behaviors, something is wrong here because the questions that you asking about this person, you don't have the facts. or
You
you
should have
haven't.
read the DSM-5, and now
No, they may not know what that is.
that's the
That's
behavior manual, the psychological manual. That's blown up.
yeah.
It's
That's no
trash.
longer who needs that book now, because it's just a laundry list of things that a person can do and what they can't do, and their strengths and their weaknesses. And we've seen a lot of weaknesses being justified as a strength. This is unrealistic. It is unrealistic.
And the reason why it's unrealistic is because people want to be told that they're great, and which they're not really great. It goes under being a narcissist. They want to be told they're great because they can't validate themselves. They have to have people that validate them.
They got enablers. They have people to make them,
Right.
you know, because inside their head, this is what they don't get. Inside their head, they're less than, they suffer. They really suffer a tragic loss internally.
They're prisoners in their own mind.
And I saw one of the news article one morning. I woke up and it had will I think it was the lady was asking if the president-elect would go out and see the California fires, would he change his mind?
No, he won't.
No, he won't change his mind. And I don't know how many times have I said this is exactly what he does. You don't ask a schizophrenic person to that's unrealistic. And when you talk about a person that when they say that have psychosis, they in a world of their own, you can't bring them back to this world. Now they might try to bring you over to their world. Now that's what has happened, because everything now is saying that we don't care about your facts. We don't care about integrity. We don't care about, we don't care about character. We don't care about things like that. Now it's down to a point that whatever happens in this world, we don't care about those things that make you look respectful, because we're the most disrespectful people there is. We're despicable me, and as long as we get what we want, that's it.
The entitlement program.
You
They're
know,
still entitled.
yeah, well, that's what I was saying about. That's the trouble that I struggle with when they always announce the richest man in the world.
He's not the richest man in the
You
world. I don't call him the richest man in the world. I call him the richest drug addict in the world. That's who Elon Musk is. The richest drug addict, not the richest man.
well,
If you have money,
you heard it here, because everybody can't lie.
Yeah.
And Vaughn is one. You got people, and it sound blatant. It may sound, well, God, he's being pretty rough. I really don't want to be his friend because he's gonna call me out. Damn right, he's gonna call you out, because that's what he does. Under
I
certain,
challenge authority. That's natural to challenge authority.
but that's the one. But just like like I said, their little holy Bible that had the laundry list of things that you can do and things that you can't do, your strengths and your weaknesses. It shows that under some people's strengths, they might have a strength that in an unrealistic world that's real powerful. But outside, when you step outside and try to use that's upside down in our world. And that's what happened, because a lot of people that saw this behavior, they could not handle that behavior at all. They couldn't, it's just like if somebody's bipolar, one day they're extremely up,
the next thing they're streaming down.
and it looks like in that world, at one time in that world, in a real world, the behavior looks kind of common. Okay, it's something, but then the next time you see them, something's wrong, and you're trying to figure out how long is this gonna go on. It's gonna go on for that's what they got. That's what they got. If you sit here and I expect for you to feel anything for anybody out there in California, and they're a climate denier, they're not gonna feel anything, because first of all, they don't believe in science.
And if anything, they feel joy for what is seen in California. They see joy and say, take that, liberals.
And I'm still amazed that these same questions have been asked over and over again. What if this person goes out and look at the California fires and feel sorry? They don't do. That's not what they
No.
do. It's unrealistic. But they don't understand because there. So we've seen so much negative behavior. The behavior have been repeated over and over and over again, and then we become what?
No,
We just become numb to it.
but that's dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. We become numb to the lies. We don't understand when if somebody's telling the truth, you don't take it as the truth no more because all you hearing is what? A
All
bunch
you,
of lies. And then you got somebody like Zuckerberg over there saying it's okay to lie.
Which
That's common. I'm taking it down, and you can lie. You can lie all you want
which
to.
that's bad
I'm
because
not gonna fact check it. It's gone.
from growing up, a lie we was taught to hurt somebody. If a person is no longer with us, they don't be reborn. You're checked out. Death is permanent.
Well, I'll break it down real simple. In our community, if you lie, you'll steal, and if you steal, you'll
You
kill.
kill.
That was it. Bottom line. You know, I'm a different G from a different time, and but I'm a learning G. I tell people, it is no way that you can stay on this planet Earth and just cease to learn. Just stop learning, because that's death right there to me. That's, I mean, for some people, they may have to get up in the morning and get their exercise on. I got to get my books on. I got to be looking at information. That's important to me because even though we have AI is emotionless. If you look at a book, you're going to get all the emotions that person felt in that book because they're going to write it. But if you look at AI, all that's been taken out.
Which that's dangerous.
It's all been taken because AI don't feel. They don't have no emotion. And now, even when you fact check AI, I've fact checked some AI, and a lot of that information is wrong. A lot of it's crazy.
Or not
And it's
updated.
I would tell a person it would be better to read the book. It'd be more realistic to pick up a book. It'd be more realistic to learn. It's not to go by, what somebody tell you, and a lot of it is well what they call an attorney's term. In life when we're born with a blank slate. Attorney would call it tabula rasa. That blank slate, it has to be filled out, with our life experiences. And the less life experience we have, the more our slate looks a little naked, And so sometimes when we haven't lived certain life experiences, then what happens is whatever comes into our head, we consume as the truth, because we haven't lived it. And it makes it hard. You know, I'm not gonna walk up to anybody and say, well, um, you didn't experience it. Then here's an opportunity for you to experience it. Not just to say, I'm going to tell you this lie, and this is what you need to believe. No. We need a reality check. We need to keep everything to the point where there's always a check and balance. Right now, we don't have that check and balance. That check and balance
Been taken away.
is gone. It's gone because a person want to be lied to quicker than I can't meet somebody in a day and oh I love you, that's scary. Because the first thing I ask a person, how much time do you spend with yourself? Oh, you don't spend no time with yourself? Oh, well, you can't spend no time with me. Come back later because you got to spend some time with yourself. It takes a long time to know who you are as a person.
Self validation is very important.
But this is not what's happening in the world now. It's follow the leader, kiss the ring. We got to,
But kissing the ring can lead you to death itself.
right.
Because lies, like B said, will lead to death.
Well, like I said, it's unrealistic. We need to get back to the truth. We need to get back to our duty to warn. If I know something is going to affect me, and I think it may be harm to JBR, JBWR, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to let him know. We get on here, we get in our clicks, and we get the feeling like, well, my channel got more than your channel. It's a lot of channels out there that may not have as many subscribers, that may not have many views, but that I'm not saying they're not good channels. They're pushing out good content and information too, but we don't recognize those channels. We only go to channels that probably the Beastie thing, Mr. Beast thing. I'm out of the playing game field. I mean, shout out to Mr. Beast for him being who he is. But I'm just saying, I'm not trying to compare myself to anybody's channel. even if I don't have a lot of views, I don't worry about that. I know when I get off this live stream, I told my truth. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you on a conversation that I have no knowledge about. And if I'm giving that information out, that information is going to be something that I lived, something I learned a lesson from, and something, hell, I'm not going to do no more. If somebody roll up on me and say, no, um, the election was not stolen. Well, it's a document out now.
Yep.
Proves it different.
Jack Smith.
There's a document out. Now you take it. If you can't look at the documentation,
then that's on you.
There you go. If you can't get somewhere and read a book,
that's on you.
That's on you, because
you have the choice to be educated or be dumbified.
The library is free, and in the generation now that's here,
Audible.
They need to be, because
I read a lot of Audible books.
And
knowledge is power. You
Yeah.
have to use that knowledge. It's how we use that knowledge.
It could be powerful, but much more powerful is the experience itself. And sometimes we can experience things that's not good, but I promise you, if I experience something that's bad, I'm gonna knock on your door and I'm gonna make sure that, hey man, don't do that, because it didn't work for me, and I'll be damned if it's gonna work for you.
It's gonna be 10 times worse if you do the things I did.
But sometimes a bad experience is not a bad experience. It's a learning tool to make yourself better.
And that's what failure is.
Experience, and that experience be passed on to someone else, and that's when we need to get back on track. Hey, this happened to me. This is the reason why it happened. I don't want it to happen to you. Please pass this information down.
What's even worse is now we're going to get less and less of the truth. That's a concern for me, because we had in my time, we had Jet magazine, we had Essence magazine, we had, a lot of magazines. They're gone. I mean, and we what we've done is we put a lot of shows, that's not they're like reality shows, or but as a community that's always invisible, that's looked over, we need information that's going to help us move forward, that's going to grow. We don't need any more information that's going to align our heads with lies. We don't.
We don't need garbage.
I struggle when people say, I struggle with disinformation.
Lies.
I struggle with when people say I'm being discreet. That means you left out some information that you didn't want me to have. And now I go do that, and I didn't have all the information, and it's gonna jack me up. I can land in prison somewhere, but you was discreet for as I was concerned. You lied to me. You didn't give me all the information. But the trick to that is, in life, you're not gonna always. It's never gonna be a point where you're gonna get everything that you want, because people are still looking you from now on, finding out, trying to find out what that truth is, or what that lie consists of. And that's kind of what happened to Jack Smith. Uh, his team did a hellified job. They looked. I struggled with Garland, because I don't know what la la land he was in, because my bottom line is this procedure should have took
It should have been rapid.
yeah, it should have been rapid.
He was using the same rules of the 1990s pre-Trump strategies. That's what it was. He was thinking of his prosecutor play and more like a judge brain. His skill set didn't work for the moment. That was a problem as well, Merrick Garland.
Well, the skill set now is they need to put a younger
not just a younger person,
a younger generation, or not aggressive but assertive, and being able to fight back and being able to understand the reality.
The reality of the times. That's the problem, because his skill sets as well.
Well, basically, with Garland, he wasn't up to date. He was using.
He was more like a prosecutor and using it as a judge type of figure of being apolitical, but it doesn't work like that today.
Not in today's world.
In today's world, everything is political. Everything.
And you can't worry about what other people say or think about you. If you know something, then put it out there. There's consequences. But yeah, once you get that information out there, then the light switch will come on and say, "Oh, that does make sense."
Well, the biggest consequence for us was the Supreme Court.
Yep, they were a big disappointment.
That's something that needs to be looked at, and
the Sinister Six.
Yeah, the Sinister Six. And what was terrifying is that you can't, you can't put anybody above the law. You can't. And that's it's going to be a great backlash for that, and the backlash is, if you have a Supreme Court, this is somebody that's high up on the scale, and they up there lying and getting all their money. They're not, they are disgraced. They're not for the people at all. They don't give a damn. They just, their world is not the people. you know it's their
And
pockets.
especially, it's the pockets. It's not even the law either.
It's the
And then once
checkbook.
you do that, there is no such thing as the rule of law. The rule of law is desecrated, destroyed. What they're thinking is the rule of law is like the for little people. Say the laws are for little people. That's what it is.
So we've had the biggest decline there is in our behavior, in our social interaction, in our behavior. It has separated us. It has isolated us, all because of not being able to tell the truth. Don't even want the truth out. You know, we gonna hide the truth. You know, for Zuckerberg to have all this money and to come across like a little wimp that he did, and saying that, we don't want the truth no more.
The reason for Zuckerberg, I'm not defending him. He's afraid that he was going to get thrown in jail. That's why he did it.
He
I'm
did
not
the
saying it's right, but he's saving his own skin. That's why he don't want the fact checking.
Well, I want them to fact check this. From now on, if anybody, not if we're gonna take, the behaviors over and say that, okay, uh, these behaviors no longer, these are in the fake world, okay, the unrealistic world, because there ain't no way in the world that you can go on a job and drink
And still have a job.
and still have a job.
or drink or even go to a strip club.
And or try to be
A strip
secretary.
club, they drip it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pete
Yeah,
Hester.
no, yeah.
Yeah, Pete Hester was the one who put it. Yeah.
And then trying to get confirmed as Secretary of Defense. The job of the Secretary of Defense, not only you're responsible for the weapon system, but boots on the ground, the naval, and everything else. And how do you be responsible coming in on the job with a hangover? Secretary of Defense is a 24-hour day, 7 day a week job. You cannot come on a job being hungover, and you had to brief the president on the situation going on in this country. You have to have an explanation.
I can't understand how Mike Johnson can stand there and say that they're the party of what, Wolf?
They're the party of moral values and law and order,
And you got a fund to keep people from what?
for sexual assault. Campaign funds, taxpayer funds,
And that's our money.
funding for sexual assault. Tell something, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, because tell Marjorie Greene talking about exposing it too.
Tell all the dirt, Margie.
Tell all the dog dirt.
And I can't understand how Nancy Mace can do what, Kenny?
Just flat out tell lies.
And harm the transgender community and then raise funding off of
And
it.
that's the thing I don't understand. How you gonna attack somebody that's 1% of the population, and how you use religion for your own propaganda?
That's they unrealistic world.
That's their it's more than their
because
unrealistic world.
We don't live in a world like that. See what? And I don't wish no bad on anybody. I really don't.
But some people won't be missed.
But when it gets to the point that what was the little lady that passed away in this? What was her name in the Supreme Court?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. This lady had died. She served her time. And Mitch McConnell was out there trying to, we got to get this funeral, we got to get somebody up in this court real quick, because we just can't. When you get to the point when you don't care about your people coming up missing, like the one lady in Congress that
Representative Kay Granger, they covered up for the fact, and this is another bad behavior too. That
was unjustifiable too.
They even covered up Representative Granger that was in a nursing home when they voted for 6 months. Now that's crazy behavior right there. And hey, that's not for normal behavior.
Yeah, and if we try to forge something, we get nailed for forgery.
So what comes to this is not the ordinary behavior. This behavior is not even average.
It's
This
despicable.
behavior is is not usual, but very unusual. This behavior is not on the side of saying that this is what we should be doing all the time. This behavior is straight up wrong. This behavior needs to be called out. This behavior needs to be challenged. When the behavior is not challenged, it gets harder and harder to challenge. People mistrust you. They don't trust you.
You lose credibility.
There's no thing of character. There's no thing of integrity. There's none of that. You don't have no morals.
And no character and what your children and grandchildren.
And that kind of happened in the unrealistic world. I don't want to say Diddy because that's another story another day. But his behavior wasn't challenged either. R. Kelly's behavior wasn't challenged. But the thing that I struggle with, if this behavior was unrealistic, not challenged, and they was in a different world, why are they in prison?
Yeah, so I can say,
Why are they in prison?
because if it's not white, it's not right.
Well, I'm just saying, we got to get back to
What is
fact. We got to get back to the truth. We got to get back to the facts. We got to get back to that. We got to get to a point where we have to read. It is so important, And even if you can't read, then you listen. I mean, they got all these audible spot. You can be on the way to work and listening. You need to be informed. You have to be informed.
That's right.
And so what's happening now is they're trying to block information. They're trying to block the truth, to keep you from being informed so you can make misjudgments, so you can make these missteps. You're going to end up in prison. You're not going to get what other people got. You're not going to, you're not going to get off.
Oh no.
It's
That's
in a three-tier system. It's not just a two-tier system. It's a three-tier
But
system.
also, too, they're trying to block certain books because it tells the truth, but it's a disgrace at the same time. But you have to know the ugly truth. So history don't repeat itself. But guess where we're at? History's repeating itself.
History
Why?
don't repeat
Because people
it.
don't read.
All right.
People are not in touch with channels that give out the facts, okay? And I'm glad that independent media, you have some people on the regular media that has done their job. Some people haven't. I lost respect for CNN. I lost respect for, what was that other channel that Christy Welker was on? I lost respect.
Meet the Press.
Meet the Press, because some of the...
And also Morning Joe with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski.
I lost respect.
I've lost respect for a lot of people, and what the hell, they don't care because I don't live with them, they don't live with me, But it's the thing that if if you looking at these channels and you're getting this information, you just basically assume, which is bad to do. Do your homework. Do your fact checking. Look and read, and so that you can challenge their information, because it's what has happened. The media has been unrealistic to the point that they got crushed on their side, and now independent media is saying, "Look, okay, we got our papers. We're going to tell you just how it is. We're going to give you all the information. We're going to give you the data. We're going to give you a play-by-play." That's what we need to hear. If you have to come off that side, then you have to come. But we got to be in the real world. On the real note, I can't be in La La Land, especially me. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you guys why. I've said this over and over. And I think it wasn't a good thing. It was a bad thing. And I'm not trying to make it about me, but it's anybody out there could have something that is detrimental to their health that can take them out. Anybody. It's a lot of people out there walking in those shoes. Now, we just can't make it up in our mind that the shit's gonna go away. That's not the way it works. It's not the way it works under the microscope.
You have to take care of it yourself. You have to research it, read about it, and then try to do everything you can to make it better yourself. God is not going to help you heal. You're going to have to do it yourself.
So, in the event that when those diagnoses or those things come across in your life, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna be over there listening to a group that's not in the real world? Or are you gonna be listening to somebody from South Africa saying that, you know, media constantly said the richest man in the world?
The richest drug addict in the world. That's what
Well,
he is. He ain't no man.
I don't know about all that, Woo. But I understand how you feel, and the anger that you feel. I feel that way because everybody else that's on different drugs, and Michael Jackson lost his life for being on drugs. Other people, icons, we lost many icons, um, uh, and unrealistic. They didn't get, the help that they needed,
Enablers,
you know, and
hero worshippers, doctors.
okay,
Okay,
calm
calm
down.
down.
They didn't get the help that they need, and they paid a price for it. Now, uh, I don't care how many dollars you got. When it goes down, you may go in the wall because you might get a fancy grave. I may go in the ground. You ain't gonna be able to take none of that with you. But for as standards and morals and looking out and saying that basically we could look to this person to aid us and help us, no, because they can't help themselves. I,
That's why we should
I,
not be looking for people to look for. That's why we should not be looking for other people to aid us to begin with in the first place.
well, I can't. Bottom line, I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna give any advice to anybody if I can't handle things in my life. That's just it. I'm not going to give any advice. If I can't talk on the subject, because we do have people out there that they throw out big words, what y'all call it, word salad or whatever, to make them look intelligent and to make you feel small.
They're dumb. They're just as
Well,
dumb. The
I
word
can't.
big world salad.
A lot of times they're not dumb. A lot of times under narcissistic behavior, you have, a person that's behavior is a little bit out of control. Let me just some of it gets real out of control. A person that they want to be all, end all, know all. That's it. Uh, I know how to say I don't know. Can I get back with you? And I'm really gonna get back with you because I really don't know, and I'm interested in finding out. I'm not gonna just make up something because whatever I make up can cost you your life. I'm not trying. I'm not out here. I'm trying to be in the real world. That's what I'm saying tonight. This is about being in the real world, hearing the truth. I'm not gonna be looking at somebody's channel, jealous of they likes, they subscribers, and I want to see all you guys make it. But where we at now, this is critical to everybody. This is for everybody.
Across the
You
board.
know, we thought that we were untouchable. That our democracy couldn't be flipped on its head, and it has.
It has.
And now we see that democracy, our freedom, and everything is very delicate. And it's gonna have to work hard to get it back in place. That's what's gonna happen. But we got to have the wherewithal of saying that our neighbor, um, our associates, in-laws, outlaws, whatever you want to call them, you know, we have to inform them. We just can't walk away and say, well, I don't care if they don't know. Or, let's bring them over here to this unrealistic world and go down the rabbit hole, go deep into the rabbit hole, and they'll never come out.
But you're going to have people with the information that they're willing to listen to.
Yeah. And communication don't, you get somebody and cause they communicate well. Well, people do. They do talk the talk, but they may not can walk the walk. And we understand that too. We understand that. And the bottom line is that if you can't do the job, don't sit up there and lie about that you can. Don't sit up and give this information and talk all smooth, because we've seen a lot of smooth talkers lately. Vance talks smooth. JD Vance, yeah, he a smooth talker. But shit, I don't think JD Vance believe his damn self.
No, we don't.
I don't think he believe himself.
And most of the cult in MAGA don't like JD Vance either. He's a fake. He's a phony.
And I said, even with the Bannon situation and the
And Elon Musk, and
even
they have a bad relationship. Elon Musk and Steve Bannon. Bannon was the one that wanted to kick him out.
Right.
well, all I'm
At
saying.
least Bannon got some principles. You may not like Steve Bannon, but he got principles.
Well, shout out to Steve on
Man.
that one. I never. Sometimes we don't think there's a line, and there, everything that a person say may not be wrong. You know, there are some things you're going to agree, and there's things that you're going to disagree, and you'll walk away. You'll take what you can out of that, situation, and you move. You just can't say that everything they say is wrong. You know, if you start off on that track that you're wrong, the communication dies right there.
Dead
The
on arrival.
communication is left on the floor, and we're not hearing each other out. We're not. We're not. And when we're communicating in such a way that people feel. I've had people say to me, I don't. I want to look at the news, but I don't really know what they're talking about. And
You
and
have to get a dictionary. That ivory tower situation, and that's another thing that got us in trouble too. Is that ivory tower language? Break it down, explain what it means, or we can have another ivory tower situation, the FU situation.
I
They
would.
have that. They had that. They have that Christian Freeland, Justin Trudeau, and Christian Freeland situation. Mr. Speaker, condescending.
And nobody wants to be talked down to,
No.
talked at. Nobody wants. They don't want that to happen. So I guess when I say this unrealistic world, the unrealistic world is when you give out just lies. When you lie all the time. I'm trying to figure out if somebody lied to me. I trust is hard to get back to.
You never should have trusted a liar in the first place. Once that you lie to me, you will never earn that trust, and I'm not going to give you my time ever.
Well, okay, Mister Ever, but in the
Oh,
mean,
maybe just a cultivator. Never more.
but in the meantime, I, that's something that I really didn't understand because you come in and I'm supposed to work with you the next day and you lie. So
You should never work with that person that lie ever.
when is the next lie coming up? So the bottom line here is all the lies that we've received, and then when we get the truth, we walk away, act like it's nothing.
It's kind of like the little boy that cried wolf, or Chicken Little. The sky is falling. Until that time comes, too late.
So all I'm saying to the people out here that's listening, I feel like it's our time to mourn. I want you, everybody out here, to realize that we're upside down. It's dangerous. We don't have the guardrails that we had coming into this cycle, and it's gonna be hard. And we need the truth. We need the truth. We need the truth. We need to trust each other. We need to be able to communicate with each other. And if you find out that you can't do those things, then that's a big problem. And I struggle with what Mark Zuckerberg did, because he's just saying that.
We have a right to lie all you want to, and I don't want to face the consequences and accountability. I
And
never respected him in the first place. And what's even worse about Zuckerberg, his mom was a psychologist.
Yeah, but that had, even though his mom was a psychologist,
And
I'm
you
quite
and
sure that when he wasn't a patient. I don't know, but the bottom line on that is that there have been things that have been done. Those things that have been done was lies. That's it. Lies. Lie, the big lie, and now all these people that voted fell under the big lie.
and
And all these people are going to be looking for answers. They're going to be looking for the truth.
and those who didn't vote, the
And do
82
you
million.
know how hard it is to cut through the truth once somebody lose trust? That's what I'm saying. If it becomes unrealistic. It almost, you're asking yourself, how do I get this person to have some kind of communication, or that I can talk to them in a manner that we can be friends, or we can be civil to each other. That's hard to cut through. It's hard to cut through when, like when Hegseth sit up there and said, the lady was sitting behind him, his wife, I cheated on, no, no, what did he tell? He says, I'm, that's done. That's over with. You can't just wreck a
washed up.
person life and cheat on them and think, oh well,
Everything's okay.
everything's okay. We'll go to the next thing. You can't do that. Every one of those, uh, every one of those people in those hearings, that was horrible.
The despicable me
And
syndrome.
they were sitting there and they were lying. You could see that they were lying. But what was crazy was the paper was right there on the desk, and the Democrats was asking the questions, and they was answering it like, "This is what we do. This is what we do. We lie. We lie.
And we don't expect to be held accountable.
No, and we don't really care at this time whether anybody believes us or not.
The president wants us, and that's all that matters.
You know,
Exactly.
but you know, I would never, the thing is to go to people, the people that you can change their mind, you can talk to, you can communicate with, do so. But do not waste your time on somebody that you can't pull in. It's a waste.
If they're stuck in that rabbit hole, they're stuck in that rabbit hole.
It's just a waste. And
Yep, it is.
communication, like I said, you can be a smooth talker and you can be a big liar, and out of that, you may not know how to do the job. You may not know how to do the job. So what does that mean? And like I said, I looked at all these. I go from channel to channel, station to station, and I'm thinking, why isn't the media reading any information? Why aren't they educating themselves and understanding that, like, and I said, no disrespect to Stevie can't see. So why are you asking Stevie to come out there to California and look at the fires and see how he feels? Now he's gonna probably feel something. Stevie's gonna, but he can't see the actual, And there's some people that they have certain things in uh certain diagnoses in their life, that laundry list of things that you can do, things that you can do, your strength, your weaknesses. Those are things in that book, the Holy Bible of the GSM-5. That's the way I'm gonna describe it. And it doesn't mean that you exile from life because, as Elon would say, you mentally what? You mentally retarded?
And that word, that bothered me because growing up, we were not supposed to say that word. Now,
Well, we can say he mentally drunk, hell,
right.
but he the richest man in the world.
And well,
He's the richest addict in the world.
Every channel gives him so much power, even more power when they what is it? There's something you can't pay. You can't pay for respect. You can't pay for all the things that you can't pay for, or is under a list called emotions. You cannot make a person happy. That's on you. You cannot make a person feel sad. That's
it's all
on
on
them.
you.
Well, I'll take that back. Some people, they live to make people sad.
Oh, they
But
do.
then it's up to you whether you want to feel that type of emotion.
Two-way
Unreal
street.
what's unrealistic, when I hear it all the time, what's unrealistic is what the media, and I said certain media, not all media, certain media, they got crushed because they decided to go into an unrealistic world. That's not the way our world works. Our world work on facts. You got to state the case. You got to make the case. You got to have documentation for the case. That's what you got to. And when the facts come out, you can't just look at that and say, "Oh well, that's old. That never happened." That's just like me sitting here saying COVID never happened. That's like me sitting here saying that all these people died and it didn't affect me. It did. It did really affect me.
And that's like they're saying that the California fires never happened. That's like they saying the 9/11 truth said 9/11 was an inside job.
Or saying like the Holocaust didn't exist.
Yeah, but that's reality. That's what's real, and emotions are real. That's real. It's real when somebody tells you you got less than 6 months. It's real. All that's real. You know, that is real.
It's real when pull up the chart and you say you got X Y Z little 6 months. It's real when they pull up the X-ray and there's a like a lump.
Well, for it's unreal and what's not real, you're entitled to your opinion.
But you're not entitled to your
The
facts.
facts.
And the facts is what's going to get us back on track. And we need those facts. And we need those facts coming from the media, a media that wants to deliver.
And a media that's not for profit, and a media that has integrity, and a media that's not worried about the ratings or hurting people's feelings.
Or a media that has backbone with integrity and dignity.
Well, we'll close it out on that note because we've been going. And when I say a realistic world, a realistic world of saying that if I shoot you, and I don't want to, if I shoot you, you're gonna bleed. If you shoot me, and you say it's, you're not gonna bleed. That's not gonna happen. That's unrealistic. That's we need the truth. We need the truth on it. As every corner, everywhere. We need the truth. We need the truth, and we need to learn to trust again. We need to learn to warn each other.
Not only warn each other, but we need to warn the right people, and we need to trust the right people in the right institutions, or build your own.
And
That's just it.
and all those people that don't want to come along, leave them where they at. Leave them where they at. Cause some people you're not gonna gain over. You're just not.
1/3, yeah, leave. 1/3 is going to love you no matter what. 1/3 is going to hate you no matter what. And 1/3 is not going to care. Look to the 1/3 that's appeal to the middle, and leave the 1/3 that hate you, leave them alone.
Because that 1/3 that hates you, bottom line is they hate themselves. Right. The person that's drunk and they want to control their life, you think even if you can stop and ask them why you drink, because you're not pouring the liquor, you're not forcing anything on them. Why you do drugs? Why you not? Why are you interfering in everything that we do? But you're not. You got plenty to do, but you're not. You're trying to strike fear in our hearts because you're not doing what you need to do.
Because you don't like yourself.
And I don't mind saying, because I was curious about it. I always like to look at drugs and their side effects and things that happen. But since I came on, don't usually do these streams, but the next one will look for something on ketamine, because I had an interest in that. And so I thank you all for coming. And stay real. Stay in the real world. I didn't say keep it real. I said stay in the real world. Stay in reality. Because if you're not in reality, you're suffering from some type of what they call psychosis or something imaginary. And you need to be in the real world. You need to hear the facts. The facts is hard to hear, but that's a balance. We need that balance. Everything can't be one-sided. We can't live over here in an unrealistic world, and for some people, they can't handle the truth, and I get that, but we need a balance. And on that note, Vondell, you got something to say?
I think that it sums it up very well.
Kenny, you got anything you want to say?
Staying in the real time in the real world.
Stay in real time, stay in the real world, and look for, do everything.
And look for helpful, wonderful solutions. Don't be looking for a pill. Read and look and change in lifestyle.
So, and if you find somebody that's communicating and real smooth, watch out.
Red flag.
Yeah,
And also too, watch out for charismatic people. Because when you see it's a person, and that's another thing we have to be careful about too, is we're looking for charisma. When you see a person with charisma, run.
Yeah, run. So, on that note, this was fun. We'll come back I'll try to come back a little bit soon because there's a lot of research I like to do. There's a lot of channels I like to look at. I like people putting it out there, and I'm a supporter. I like supporting. I want you guys to support each other. You know, for me, um, I want to see the success of all the channels, and I want to see exceptional
I
content put
want to
out
see
here.
success for channels that have integrity, success for channels that have honesty, and success for channels that will not do no sellout just for some cash or some ratings. That's what I want to see channels do like that. I want to see those type of channels succeed.
Okay. And so we probably get on YouTube's nerves because we don't follow their format. We don't say like and subscribe. Because I'm going to tell you something, YouTube. This is for YouTube. I do not like or anything that's happening right
Right now.
now. I do not like it,
It
you know.
stinks.
And I don't want any,
And,
I
and,
don't,
and, and I
no,
don't subscribe to this world that we're in right now.
And you cannot edit life.
no. You can't edit your life. And a lot of people try to do that, but you can't. So we need the facts. We need the facts. We need truth. We need to trust. We need to be able to communicate. Communicate on a level, I'm not saying on fifth grade level, but what I'm saying is we need to be able to talk to each other, not talk at each other.
And if you do talk about trust, you need to trust the right people and the right organizations. Because if you can't have that trust in your own, trust in yourself and build your own, if you can't trust either.
So I will be out there looking at these channels. I will probably be up under your rug, hiding behind the flowers, taking my notes. And I don't know, Stephen A. Smith, you went off the rails a little bit, but I was looking at your channel. So on that note, I'm gonna get out of here. And thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure and an honor to still be in this space, in this time, in this moment. And you guys keep up the good work. Keep it up. And thank you.